based up in fourth. Number 1 for the UK, Kenny Carter. Sean Moran is second. Then we've got Neil Collins from the UK, and Robbie Maxfield is last at the moment. Kenny Carter bringing home the Young England Solo Test team. Yellow flag, 1 lap to go. Sean Moran from America was the resident, one of the 3 resident Americans here out. Oh, he lost a bit of power there going down the back straight. He's lost a lot of ground. Around we come to the checkered flag. There's Kenny Carter first. Then we got Moran second and Collins third. Right, now the Alan Graham has been disqualified for not coming out within 2 minutes. Kev Smith, the emergency, has taken his place. So on the inside we've got Phil Crump. One side of him, Kev Smith. Almost broke the tapes, almost. The gate sprung up because of the strike on the tapes. These boys are pretty keen. England leading at the moment, 5-1. Phil Crump, one of Australia's top solo riders, on the inside. He's been brought over from Victoria to supplement the South Australian team. So up high there we've got number 3, John Davies from the UK. Next to him would be Denny Pyatt, I think, from the States. There goes the gate. So held up for a long time. Round the outside, Phil Crump on the inside. And I think it's John Davies has taken Phil Crump. Looks like the white helmet cover of John Davies. Phil Crump has come back again. Beautiful riding by Crump. Davies is second, and Pyatt for the South Australian team is third. So South Australia holding the points at the moment. But young Kev Smith has taken, no he hasn't, Pyatt coming back at the back. But Phil Crump is riding superbly tonight. Very hot night. He's still around the 30-degree mark. These boys have been really hot in those leathers. Phil Crump brings them home. He's got this race shot to pieces. Phil Crump will be first over the line. There he is, Phil Crump. And we've got number 3 for the UK, John Davies. And Phil Pyatt is third. So that's heat 2 for the Winfield 25s, South Australia versus Young England Solo team. After 2 heats, the 2 teams unofficially tied up on 6 points. We'll give you our own score here. John Bolger's at the line now, number 2. Supporting him will be John Cook. From the UK, Andy Graham in the white helmet cover. From the inside, the yellow helmet cover is Phil Collins on the inside. Lined up, the starter bringing up Collins, making sure they're all on the line. The starter's happy, walks away, the gate should go, there it goes. Let's have a look at Bolger's start. It's a good one. And John Bolger, beautiful start. In fact, the red light is on. Didn't see any real problems, but the stewards picked something. So we'll have a restart in just a... UK Andy Graham on the inside. Trouble with the gate, that's why the race was stopped. For this third heat, away they go. Johnny Bolger was on the inside of him, Andy Graham from the UK. Look at them, 4 wide. They go to the first 2 corners. And John Bolger gets the advantage. Round they come. The first lap nearly over, and by gee, they are flying. 51.4 was equal in the first heat. That's the track record taken by Kenny Carter. By golly, this is a fast one, and Bolger is well out in front. Local star, local rider, but with loads of international experience. John Bolger brings them home for the yellow flag. 1 lap to go. And in the second place goes Cook, the American rider who's resident here at Speedway Park. Underneath him looks like it could be Phil Collins. Yeah, the yellow helmet cover. John Bolger brings it around again. And John Bolger definitely first. Let's have a look at the second. I give it to the English rider Phil Collins. And John Cook is third. So we'll still hold equal points after the third heat for Winfield 25s. Heat 4 for Winfield. We've got in this lineup Denny Pius and Phil Crump for South Australia, Kenny Carter and Kev Smith. Starter walks away, he's happy with them, waiting for the gate, up the goes, and off the board comes Kenny Carter very quickly. The red light is on again, looks like could have been another problem with the gate. So we'll see, Phil Crump might have jumped the start. Anyway, we'll come back to the restart in just a moment. Right, lining up again for this fourth heat. Apparently it was Kenny Carter who jumped the start. Oh, and Piet goes underneath the gate. There's all sorts of problems there. The gate's not working properly. The inside against the boards is not going. You can see it's still down, whereas the inside on the tracks, on the green side, turf side, it's up high. So this is confusing the riders. Right, lining up again for heat 4. It looks like Phil Collins, who was sitting up against the boards, he's been eliminated. Surely not, because the gate didn't go up on the inside, on the outside of the track. Anyway, he's out. Kev Smith has taken his place up on the board. And Piet on the left of the gate, he just sat there. He's lost all power. So out there we've got Phil Crump to hold up South Australia. Piet didn't have any power whatsoever at the gate, and he's still not got no power. He's going around very slowly. And Phil Crump from Kev Smith. And the other English rider, I presume, would be Kenny Carter. Phil Crump brings them home again. And Denny Piet has just made one lap while the others have made two. Dennis Piet trying to get power. Looks like fuel could be starving. Be a lot of work on that bike in the pits after this event. Phil Crump. 2 out of 2 for South Australia. Phil Crump is first. Then we've got Kev. No, it's not. It's Kenny Carter is second, and Kev Smith, I think, would be third. Heat 5 for Winfield, the South Australia versus England solo test. Lining up, we've got John Bolger and John Cook for South Australia, John Davis and Alan Graham for the UK. Started trying to bring them up. Number 4 there is Alan Graham. Alongside of him is Bolger. The red light is on again. Right, we'll have a restart. I don't know what the problem is. We'll have a restart very shortly. Right, we'll try again for this 5th heat. And apparently the trouble is with the gate. They've used a lot of oil on the slide. Let's have his castrol so it works properly. And the boys come up to the line once again. Yellow on the inside is Alan Graham. And they've got John Bolger. There it goes. The gate looks good. Bolger got a reasonable start. Number 3. Around the outside is UK's John Davis. And Bolger's dropped back into 3rd. There he is in the group, just ready to pounce. Right around the outside, I think it would be John Cook. Oh, look at him. Look beautiful. Yes, that's John Cook from America, riding for the South Australian Speedway. Then we've got England, John Davis, and John Bolger is 3rd. To the back is Alan Graham. American John Cook had several wins last week. Yellow flag, 1 lap to go. Bolger getting underneath Davis from the UK. And Bolger in 2nd place. So South Australia's got 1 and 2 up there at the moment. Oh, look at that, John Cook. He was lifting his bike last week, and he said he was just having a bit of a layup. So there's John Cook, first across the line. John Bolger 2nd, and Alan Graham 3rd. John Cook, an amazing rider, no fear, and is very, very talented too. So it's Cook, Bolger, and Graham. Heat 5 for Winfield 25. Right, the last heat of this round, Winfield's South Australia versus England solo test team match, Heat 6. On the inside, Robbie Maxfield. Didn't perform real well in the last heat. Green light's on, the gate goes up well. Next to him is Andy Graham, who takes an early lead. Sean Moran, the American rider, trying to get underneath. He's the yellow leathers with the red helmet. And through he goes. The American takes Graham in the first lap. And Maxfield is running last. Very, very tight for those first 2 placings. Sean Moran from Andy Graham. Down they come again. Maxfield is holding down 3rd just. Oh, have a look at these boys. They are flying. Sean Moran from America riding for Speedway Park. Registered here for 12 weeks. And the 3 Americans American riders. They rode beautifully last week and took everything in front of them. So it's Sean Moran. Looks like it's his race, the final heat in this round, heat 6. Of course, there are a lot more to come yet. But Sean Moran takes first place. We've got number 6, Andy Graham is second. And Robert Maxfield third, with Phil Collins fourth, heat 6 for Winfield 25s. The next round of heat number 7. And at the moment, South Australia 22, England 14 points. South Australia well ahead, and through the tapes almost is Kenny Carter from the UK. And he's been excluded. Carter's been taken out for breaking, well, not breaking the tapes, but going through the gate. So he'll be disqualified. And he doesn't want to move, now he's going. So they'll line up once again in just a moment for a start, heat 7 for Winfield 25s. Right, heat 7 restarts with Carter disqualified. They've got another rider in there somewhere. We'll try and pick it up for you. It is Smith riding into his place. The start from Bolger. Doing a beautiful start from the gate. Johnny Bolger. Behind him is Collins. Johnny Bolger, the track has just been regraded. You can see that the grade marks there. So it'll be a little different surface to what they were riding on a few minutes ago. Oh, and up he goes again, Johnny Cook. He is brilliant, he really is. Never seen a rider do that in short circuit speedway yet, and still have full control of his bike. He does it again down the back straight, just lifts his wheel. Bolger and Cook, but they're riding great teams race here, side by side, one lower, one higher, and the English boys got to really work hard to get through there. Now Bolger wants the checkered flag, so he puts that power on down the back straight, but Cook's still underneath him. In behind them is the English rider in Collins. But let's see if they can hold him out. No, Collins has done it. Collins came through. I was saying what beautiful teams riding it was. But Bolger and Cook enjoying it out front, and Collins just came through underneath. So there it is, Neil Collins from John Bolger and John Cook for heat 7. Heat 8 for Winfield. In there we've got Sean Moran, Robert Maxfield, John Davis and Alan Graham. Moran and Maxfield are of course riding for South Australia. Moran's got the inside pole position. Alongside him is Alan Graham. Then Robert Maxfield up on the fence would be John Davis. Just wondering what's happening now. Here we go. Lining up, starter bringing up Moran, bringing up Graham. Walks away, the gate goes up, and it was a bad gate again. The inside against the board stuck, so the race is brought to a halt, and right, another start. Let's see if the gate will perform for us this time. Moran on the inside. Next to him, Graham, Maxfield and Davis. Up the gate goes. Away we go. Looks like Graham has got the best start from position 2. Around the outside. I'm sure it's not Maxfield, no. Maxfield's got the green leathers, and Maxfield at the back. So we've got Davis at the front, and Graham. And Sean Moran is third. Robert Maxfield a little way back and forth. Now the action starts. 1.5 laps to go. Moran takes into second place. Now he's looking to come in. No, second place still holding him out. That's number 4, Alan Graham. Up into second place. Right in behind John Davis. Very, very tight riding. Chucking underneath now. Look at that. Close as could be. Half a lap to go. Can he do it? Holding up the prestige for South Australia. Well in front in points, South Australia. Moran looking for a win. But he doesn't get it. It's John Davis from Sean Moran, Alan Graham and Robert Maxfield. Heat 8 for Winfield. Right, the start of heat 9. I'm not sure who the rider is on the inside. We've got Phil Crump and Ryan. Andy Graham and Phil Collins, I think, riding for England. Down the back straight for the first time. Round they come. Phil Crump in behind Andy Graham. Phil Crump prepared to wait until he can make a move. These four boys really flying in this heat for Winfield 25. Graham with Phil Crump. Then we've got Phil Collins and Denny Pyatt at the rear. Pyatt had trouble with his bike in the last heat. I don't think it's performing as well as he would like. He's certainly not moving as well. Phil Crump puts his wheel up. And there it is. One checkered flag to Andy Graham, Phil Crump, and Phil Collins third. Heat 9 for Winfield 25s. Heat 10 for Winfields. On the inside, we've got Robert Maxfield, Sean Moran in position 3. Almost a break of the ropes there with Kenny Carter up high. There they go, Robert Maxfield. Now as Carter come down right off the board and leads them around the first time. Then there's a clump of 3 bikes all together. Kenny Carter got it put together, the white helmet cover. We've got Neil Collins from the UK. Moran about to take him on now as Sean Moran goes up into second place. There he is in the picture. So Kenny Carter coming down the back straight into pit corner, turn 3. That's Kenny Carter, then Sean Moran. A fair way back. What to make up in one lap. Boys are moving pretty well. The UK are position 1 and 3. Oh, Carter's bike is gone, so Sean Moran's come through. Saw a puff of smoke out of Carter's bike, and he stopped dead. So Sean Moran will take first place. They come around for the checkered flag this time. Then Neil Collins and Robert Maxfield. So South Australia will advance in points 4-2 on that heat. Bad luck to Carter because he jumped the start very well off the boards and was leading them home very, very well. Sean Moran first, Neil Collins second, Robert Maxfield third. Heat 11 for Winfield, South Australia versus the Young England Sallow team. On the inside we've got Alan Graham from the UK. Then we would have Denny Pyatt, John Davis and Phil Crump up on the boards. Let's see how Phil can come off the boards. There he is, right up high. Started bringing back John Davis, making him line up in the box a little better. Still not happy with it. There he goes. Let's see what Crumpy can do off the start as the gate goes up. Starter walks away, happy with the line-up. There it goes. And the red light, you saw the gate on the inside corner again. And another restart for Heat 11. Unfortunately, the gate is causing some problems tonight. But nevertheless, we'll have a look at this heat for Winfield 25s. As I was saying, we'll watch Phil Crump come off the boards. Right, they started having a word to John Davis. But John Davis seems to be happy, and he's just sitting there with the head looking forward, waiting for a start. And John Davis is forced to line his bike up once again in the box. Right. The starter got his way, which is the right procedure. He walks away, the gate goes up, and another stoppage. Another stoppage. The gate is causing all sorts of concern and problems. Very disappointing. The crowd starting to be a bit vocal too, but we'll have a restart in just a moment. Right, the boys are lining up, started calling them in. Phil Crump up high. Alongside of him is John Davis. Below him is Denny Pyatt. On the inside is Alan Graham. Lining up well. Now let's see the start again as the walker starts away. The starter walks away. And John Davis almost a wheel stand. And the two teammates side by side. Now Davis gets the advantage from Alan Graham and away he goes. Phil Crump moves around the outside. Look at the riding style. The two English riders trying to keep them side by side, but is away. Crumpy around the outside of Graham, and now around the outside of Davis. Almost took him with it. Davis has gone very, very high, taking Crump with him. But Crump comes down on him into the pit corner, and around he goes. England are second and third. Phil Crump has got this race once again. Down the back straight, coming to the checkered flag. Phil Crump, certainly a great Australian champion. Phil Crump takes the checkered flag for first place. And we've got John Davis and Alan Graham. Denny Pyatt is third. So it's Phil Crump, John Davis, Alan Graham, Heat 11. Right, the boys lining up, being called up by the starter for Heat 12. On the inside is John Bolger. He'll enjoy it. And I think it would be Andy Graham, I think, is next. John Cook, the amazing wheel stand boy, and Phil Collins. Away they go. And it's Andy Graham who gets the advantage first up, but Cookie goes trying to go around the outside. Cookie going down the back straight into pit corner in second place. There's the blue scarf waving in the behind him. John Cook from America riding the Speedway tunnel. There's Andy Graham leading them around. John Bolger's dropped back to last, trying to make up a bit of ground now. Andy Graham, John Cook, Phil Collins and John Bolger. Looks like Andy Graham could hold this down too. John Cook not making much impression that lap. Yellow flag on the go. Andy Graham brings them around again. Half a lap to go now. I think John Cook's too far back and he hasn't done any fancy wheel stands this time. He's got to ride hard, trying to catch Graham. He's not going to. Andy Graham from John Cook, from Phil Collins, and John Bolger, unusually last, in Heat 12 for Winfield 25s. South Australia versus Young England Solo Test Team Event 21 and Heat 13. Is Kenny Carter, and Crump had to back off just a little bit. So Kenny Carter leads them around with Phil Crump second in the first lap. In third place is Neil Collins from the UK. Still having problems with his bike. Phil Crump trying desperately to pull out every trick in the book. But Carter is riding very, very well this time. Crump getting closer now. He's got one more lap to take Carter. Carter blew his bike earlier. You saw the puff of smoke in an earlier heat. He's riding a borrowed bike. He's doing a great job. And here he comes to the last corner, and Crump is not going to catch him. Kenny Carter from Phil Crump and Neil Collins. And 38-32 with a point score in favour of South Australia before that heat. And now the English will pick up an extra point or two. But it's Kenny Carter, Phil Crump and Neil Collins, Heat 13. Heat 14, lining up John Bolger and John Cook for South Australia, John Davis and Alan Graham for the UK. There's Bolger on the inside. Let's see if he can use that position. His starts usually are immaculate. Let's see what he can do this time. Cook's in position 3. Start to bring English riders up. John Davis up on the board, and away they go. Not a bad start, but Cook got a beautiful start from box 3. And away he goes. He's in front of Bolger. Lines the bike up out of the corner. He had full power. Bolger and Cook again together. Last time they did this, Collins breezed through the middle of them. But I think they'll be wary this time. Cook, Bolger, then back to John Davis. Alan Graham at the rear. Springing out pretty well now. John Cook from John Bolger. Round pit corner once again. Up the yellow flag, 1 lap to go. Cook and Bolger. Fairly close riding. Bolger making a little yard or two in that corner, but Cook still keeping the power on down the back straight. Now that's the way they should come home. Cook from Bolger and Andy Graham. Alan Graham. And there it is. Cook does the wheel stand across the line. And in the third position was, John Davis. Alan Graham was 4th. So it's John Cook, John Bolger, and John Davis for event 14. Heat 15 for Winfields. Sean Moran, Robert Maxfield riding for South Australia, Andy Graham and Phil Collins for the UK. Lining up beautifully, the starter walks away. And away they go. Sean Moran is cut off by Collins. He tries to drop back on the inside. But in the meantime, yes, I think it's Phil Collins has got out in front. Andy Graham has got out in front. They're wearing different helmet covers as to the program. So it's Andy Graham. He's got a good lead too, coming around to the yellow flag with 1 lap to go. Robert Maxwell's holding down. And Sean Moran up the back, which is not the normal position for Sean Moran. as he's shown us over the last couple of weeks. There he comes. Andy Graham will take the checkered flag from Robert Maxfield and Phil Collins. Sean Moran last. So those placings: Andy Graham from Robert Maxfield and Phil Collins, heat 15. Right, heat 16 with one more round to go. The UK team have slowly pegged the South Australian team back, only 4 points of difference now. South Australia in front. John Bolger on the inside, John Cook his mate, Kenny Carter and Neil Collins. That's the lineup for this last round, heat 16. Oh, almost broke the tape. They're going to leave him there. Waiting for us to leave that gate for a long time. Kenny Carter, and Bolger's bike is gone, so this is going to pick up the UK points, although it looks like Cook is second. Yes, there's the blue scarf of Cook. Look at the way he's got his foot right up high over the back wheel. Right, an unusual rider by all means. But Kenny Carter leading Johnny Cook a treat at the moment, and in third place will be Neil Collins. Coming up very, very high, Cook. Carter. So the English team are going to pick up another 2 points in this round. The way they're spread out, there. Cook just another great huge wheel stand down the back straight for the crowd over that side. But Kenny Carter will take full points. And Johnny Cook's bike has nearly went. It has gone. He puts it up. The crowd love it. So let's have a look at the placings over the line. Heat 16. Kenny Carter first, John Cook second, Neil Collins third, and John Bolger's bike is gone. We'll try and check it for you before the end of the round. Moran, Maxfield for South Australia, Davis and Graham for the UK. Moran's in position 2, so they put Maxfield up against the boards. There's John Davis being told to line up his bike again. The primary chain went on John Bolger's bike, so nothing very serious. Sean Moran didn't get the best of start. Down the back straight they come. Try to pick out some colours for you. Number 3 it is. John Davis leads them around, and alongside of him teammate Alex Graham. Maxfield and Moran at the back. Maxfield trying to go around the outside. Moran is sitting back at the moment. Can't afford to do it for too long. 1.5 to go. Davis and Graham leading them around. Maxfield and Moran. One lap to go, and England running 2 points behind. This will take them to the front if they come home this way. And Maxfield is not going to catch the Moran way back. So it's John Davis and Alan Graham and England go to the front of this match. South Australia versus the UK. John Davis, Alan Graham, 1 and 2 for the UK. Robert Maxfield just limping across, and Sean Moran's limping also. So there we have it. John Davis, Alan Graham, Robert Maxfield, UK take the front with 1 more heat to go. The last heat for Winfield 25s. The UK, after being trailing all night, have gone 2 in front. Now out there we've got Denny Pyatt and Phil Crump. We can rely on Phil Crump, but Denny Pyatt's had a rotten night all night with his bike. He's on the inside. We've got Andy Graham and Phil Collins representing the UK. England leading by 2 points. Right to start lining them up. This is the most important heat, this one. 2 points of difference. Pyatt goes across the line. That gate holding up for a long time again. There they go. Phil Collins, round the outside he goes. Phil Crump leads them around. Now where's Denny Pyatt? He's in 3rd place, I think. In fact, Denny Pyatt is last. So the way they're coming at the moment is 3 points to 3, and the UK will win by 2 points. Denny Pye's got to get that bike going. It hasn't been performing all night. 1 lap to go. Phil Crump's well won. But Denny Pye would have to come home in second place to take this event. It'll be Phil Crump in first place. Coming around for checkered flag now, a long distance in front. Phil Crump from Andy Graham and Phil Collins third, Denny Pye at last. So that's 3 points to South Australia and 3 points to the UK, and the UK take out the complete event for Winfield 25s by 2 points. So great night's racing from the Salo boys, for the UK team taking up this event for Winfield 25s.